In part B, program number 2 is write a program to input n real numbers and to find the mean, variance and standard deviation, where the formula for mean is sigma xi by n, variance is sigma xi minus mean whole square divided by n, and deviation is square root of variance, where the value of I will range from 0 to n. Definitely you will be having a doubt of what do you mean by deviation. Let us understand deviation in a detailed manner. Standard deviation. Standard deviation and variance. Deviation basically means how far from the normal. First I am going to give you certain definitions with respect to all these things, then we are going to understand it with the help of an example. As it is written here, standard deviation is a measure of how spread out numbers are. In this it says the formula is easy, it is the square root of variance. Now you may ask the question, what do you mean by variance? No need to worry, let us understand everything in a detailed manner. First thing, let me show you some example of understanding what do you mean by deviation, what is variance, and where the standard deviation is useful to us. If you check it here, we have some n number of dogs here. Say you and your friends have just measured the height of the dogs in millimeters. The height at the shoulders of the first dog is 600 millimeter, second dog is 470, third dog is 170, fourth is 430, and fifth one is 300 millimeters. Now, once finding the size of every dog, we have to identify which dog is having the normal height and which dog is having above normal height and which dog is having below normal height. That is, which dog is the tallest one, which dog is the shortest one, and which dog is having the normal height. Then how to identify what is a normal height? To identify a normal height, we have to take mean. Mean means taking the average. That is 600 is the height of the first dog, 470 is the height of the second dog, 170 is third dog, and so on. Adding up all the values divided by 5, I am going to get value as 394, which is the mean value, or in other sense we call this as the average value. That is average height of all the dogs. In the figure, if we check it out here, there is a green line which is marked in this particular graph. Now it is representing the height 394 as the average height. Then we need to go for finding the variance. How to find the variance? Variance is from this average green line what I am having, we are going to find the difference value of original height and the average height. The height of the first dog is 600 millimeter. From the average line, it is having the difference of 206. Same way, the second dog is having the difference of 76 millimeter from the average line. Then the third dog, which is the shortest one, is having minus 224 because we are subtracting the original height of the dog minus the average value. In the first case, it was 600 minus 394, I got the value 206. But in this case, I am doing the size is 170 minus 394, I am getting the negative value as minus 224. Like this, I am going to get the size of each and every dog, means the difference of their height from the average line. Once I take this, the next part is to square each and every number here. The difference of the first dog was 206, I am squaring it. Second dog is 76 square. Third is minus 224 square. Like this, I have to square each and every number. Once I do the squaring, I have to add up all the values as it is done here, divided by 5. Then I am going to get the value 21,704. This is called as the variance value. Once I find the variance value, I have to go for finding the standard deviation. Remember, standard deviation is really easy. Standard deviation is just the square root of the variance value. The variance value what I got was 21,704. When I take the square root of this, I got the value 147. This value what I got is called as the standard deviation. Now you may ask the question, what is the use of this particular value? In the graph, we are going to use this value, which is really useful for us. The average line, the green line, is at the position 394. Above the average line, I am going to put 147. Below the average line, I am going to put 147. As 147 millimeters above the average height, 147 millimeters below the average height. Now, this is the standard deviation line. From the average line above 147, from the average line below 147 is the standard deviation range, we call it. As you can check it out here, there is a blue line marking above and blue line marking below. All those dogs height which comes under this line are taken as the normal height dogs, and all those dogs which are above the 147 range, we call them as the large size or big size, and all those dogs which come below 147, we call them as the short dogs. Now, did you understood the use of standard deviation? This is the way how we are going to find even the human's height also. You can check the height of every man, whether they are in the standard deviation range or they are really tall or they are really short. Then, some more questions you may ask it. The question is, why are we going for squaring the numbers in the variance? The only reason we are squaring the numbers because we are getting the negative values over there as 226 something. Then finding what we are doing is we are converting this negative into a positive by squaring them. That's the reason why we are squaring it. And the second reason is we are going for finding the square root of this number. You may ask the question, why are we going for square root? The reason is when I square a number, that is say 100 square, I will get the value 10,000. And when I square the number 50 square, I am getting 2,500. Means the more the number, the larger the value what I am getting. So in order to reduce this value, we are once again doing the job of taking the square root of it, with the help of which we are getting the original value of standard deviation. Hope you understood what is the meaning of standard deviation and what is the use of standard deviation. Let us just go for understanding the program and find whether our program also finds the standard deviation of given values by the user. In the program, if you have any doubt with respect to inclusion of the header files like stdio.h, conio.h, you can refer program number 1A of my explanation. In this program, I am including a header file mat.h as I am going for finding the square root of a number. Second part, I am going for defining a macro called as size whose value is 100. Remember, wherever I get size variable in the program, it's going to be get replaced with the value 100. In the main function, I am taking an array. In this, if you check it out, size is there, the constant, so the value 100 is going to be replaced here. Means the size of the array is going to be 100. Then I am taking some more variables as sum, mean, variance and deviation. All values I am initializing with 0. And remember, all variables are of floating point type. Then the printf statement is going to help me to enter the size of the array. The scanf statement is going to help me to read the value of n. Let us just go for reading the value of n as say 5 or say 4. The less the numbers, the explanation is easy for me. Printf, enter the numbers in arrays, it displays. Then with the help of the for loop, I am going to read the values. The scanf statement is going to help me to read the values of the array here. Just put ampersand in front of this as I forgot to write it here. Enter the numbers in arrays. First, value of I is equals to 0 here. It just goes for checking the condition 0 less than n. Value of n is 4 here. 0 less than 4, condition is true. In the scanf statement, it goes for reading a of 0 position. In a of 0 position, we have to go for entering some value. As we have taken the example over there, let us just take the same example as 600 millimeters, the height of the first dog. Same way the for loop is going to continue where the value of I will get incremented. Now the value of I is 1. 1 less than 4, yes, condition is true. In a of 1 position, we have to put the second value. Let us say 400. Then a of 2, because the for loop is going to continue where the value of I will become 2, 2 less than 4, condition is true. It goes for reading a of 2. In a of 2, we have to enter some value. Let us say 176. Then the for loop once again continues where the value of I will become 3, 3 less than 4. Then it goes for reading a of 3 position. In a of 3 position, let us say we are entering 300. Then for loop continues where the value of I will become 4, 4 less than 4 condition is false, it comes out of for loop. So we read all the 4 values here, a of 0 with the value 600, a of 1 with the value 400, a of 2 176, a of 3 300. As we had already understood how the formula is working, we have to first find the mean value of it. Means taking the mean of all the values. How to find the mean? I am taking a for loop which is going to help me to read each and every value of the array. The way we have read the values into the array, same way it is going to help me to extract each and every value. So what we are doing here, sum is equals to sum plus a of I. In the for loop, value of I is initially 0. We are checking the condition 0 less than 4, value of n. Okay. Then in this it goes for finding value of sum is 0 here plus a of I, that is a of 0. A of 0 here contains the value 600. As we entered the value 600 in the first one, 0 plus 600 will become 600. The value 600 is going to be stored in sum. So the present value of sum is equals to 600. Then the for loop continues where the value of I will become 1. Then 1 less than 4, condition is true. In the formula, it makes it some value 600 plus a of I, that is a of 1 now. So what is there in a of 1? The value 400. So in a of 1 position, it puts the value 400. Then 600 plus 400 is going to make 1000 value. Same way the for loop goes for continuing, value of I will become 2, 2 less than 4, condition is true. It goes for making sum plus a of I. A of I is a of 2. Then in a of 2 position, we are going to put the value as 176. 176 plus 1000 will become 1176 value. This is the value which is stored in sum. Once again, the loop continues where the value of I will become 3. 3 less than 4, condition is true. Sum is equals to sum plus a of I. As value of I is 3 here, a of 3 now contains 300 value. So substitute the value here, 300. 300 plus 1176, it becomes 1476. This is the value which is stored here. As we have found the value of sum here, as sum is equals to 1476, the loop continues where the value of I will become 4. 4 less than 4 makes the loop condition as false. So definitely the loop will come out of over there. The control jumps to the next statement where we are finding the average of it. We are writing mean is equals to sum divided by n. As we know, value of sum is 1476 divided by value of n is 4. When we do this, let us just go for calculating what is the value here. In the calculator, when I type 1476 divided by the value 4, it gives me 369. So I am just going to keep the value 369 here. This is the value what I got as a mean value. As we know, the mean value is going to be the average value. We are just going to print this average value as 369 over there. Then the next job is finding the variance. As I already told, in order to find the variance, this average value means every time I have to take the original value, like 600 minus the average value, 400 minus the average value, 176 minus the average value. Each and every difference what I am getting, I have to take the square root of this. So same thing we are going to read here in the formula, where we are finding the variance. As the for loop is going to help me to read each and every value here. Check it out here, sum plus a of I minus mean into a of I minus mean. But remember one thing, I have to make sure the value of sum is once again 0 here. If I don't mention sum is equals to 0, it goes for taking the previous available value, that is 1476. So please make a change here in the program to keep it value of sum once again as 0. Then the value of sum begins from the starting. Sum value, that is 0, plus it goes for putting a of I. Now what is I here? In the for loop, value of I is initially 0. It goes for checking the condition 0 less than value of n is 4. 0 less than 4, condition is true. In this part, it is putting a of I, that is a of 0. What does a of 0 contains? The value 600. So I have to put 600 here. I am substituting the value of a of 0 minus the value of mean. The value of mean is 369. So it just goes for putting 369 here. As I said, 600 minus 369, I am going to get the value 206 here. Into, it says a of I minus mean. Same thing. Because we have to take square root of it, we are just multiplying the same thing here. As a of I, a of 0 is value 600. So it is 600 minus the mean value 369. I am going to get, let me just calculate. I think I did a mistake here, as 600 minus 369. So 600 minus 369 equals to the value 231. So it's not 206, it is 231. Same way here also it just makes 231. It is multiplying 231 into 231. So in the calculator, when you multiply 231 into 231 equals to 53361. The value is 5. I'm just going to keep it here, 53361. So the value of sum is right now 53361. So it goes on continuing with the value of I will get incremented, value of I will become 1. It goes for taking the value of this one, that is 400. So like this, it goes for adding up each and every value, square root of each and every value, as square root of 400 minus 369. So I'm going to get the value 31 here. I have to take square of 31 into 31. Like it is just go for adding each and every value. Once it adds up, the sum I'm going to get here in this for. Once I get the sum, I have to just find the total sum value divided by n. The way we did the calculation in the initial part, same thing the program is also going to do. Then once I get the variance value, I'm just printing the value of variance. Once the variance value is printed, we are just going for standard deviation. In the standard deviation, just we are taking the square root of the variance value. Let us say the value of variance is something called as, say, 56000 some value. In that case, just take the square root of this value and goes to give me the square root of the value which is stored in the deviation. Just printing the deviation value. Your job is done. Hope you understood the program. Thank you. If you have any queries or suggestions, please contact the given email ID.